Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Life Whispers. It's a truth of life, isn't it? We all get older. As we step into our 60s and beyond, our energy might not be quite what it once was. But have you ever paused to wonder if maybe, just maybe, some of our everyday habits are subtly working against us? Are we perhaps eating at the wrong times, sleeping in less than ideal spots, or even living in places that aren't truly nurturing our health? There are habits, routines that seem so harmless, yet they can quietly influence our longevity, our physical health, and even our peace of mind. Have any of these situations sounded familiar to you? Please stay with us through this video to see if perhaps you recognize any of these common pitfalls and, more importantly, how to gently steer clear of them. Because sometimes, truly, even the smallest shift can help us feel healthier, more energetic, and find a greater sense of calm each and every day. If you find this conversation helpful, we'd be so grateful if you'd give it a like, subscribe to the Life Whispers channel, and share it with friends and family who might also benefit. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our future videos on health, creating a supportive environment with nods to concepts like Feng Shui, and living a peaceful, fulfilling later life. Now, let's explore together 2 meal times to avoid, 3 places not ideal for sleep, 4 living environments to reconsider. Part 1. 2 meal habits. Older adults may want to adjust eating. Too late in the evening, there's ancient wisdom echoed across cultures, often summarized as, nourishing life involves moderation. Late-night eating offers little benefit. For generations, sages have reminded us of the importance of aligning with natural rhythms. Our bodies, much like the universe, operate on cycles, activity during the day, rest and restoration at night. As the sun sets, the body's energy naturally shifts towards rest. Our internal organs, the worker bees of our system, also need downtime. Imagine forcing a quiet, meandering river to suddenly surge and flood. That's akin to loading your digestive system with a large meal when it's preparing to rest. It creates inner chaos and potential harm. Confucius is said to have taught, paraphrased, eating too little, one misses the full flavor. Eating too much harms the body. Eating very late doesn't just overload the stomach, it disrupts the entire digestive process. Food can sit longer, digestive enzymes may be less available, stomach contractions can weaken, leading to bloating, indigestion, restless sleep, and waking up feeling heavy and exhausted. Beyond digestion, late-night eating is an enemy to your heart and metabolic health. During sleep, your body should be resting. But if your digestive system is working hard, blood sugar levels can rise, insulin secretion increases, and your liver, kidneys, and pancreas are forced into continued labor. Over time, this contributes to metabolic imbalances, weight gain, and significantly increases the risk factors for heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Modern studies have even shown late dinners can increase heart disease risk by as much as 55%. Lao Tzu wisely observed, paraphrased, those who flow with nature thrive. Those who resist nature decline. Nature's rhythm is clear. Absorb during the day, cleanse and repair at night. Intentionally going against this flow invites imbalance. Think back. How often have late nights involved a full plate? How often did just this once turn into a habit? Try making a shift. Aim to finish your evening meal by 7 or 8 p.m., allowing your body a few hours to digest before sleep. If genuine hunger strikes later, choose something very light. A glass of warm water, a small handful of nuts, or a piece of easily digestible fruit. Don't turn your bed into a dining table, and don't force your stomach to work the night shift when it desperately needs rest. Eating. Immediately after feeling angry or stressed. When the mind is unsettled, eating brings no benefit. When one's energy isn't harmonious, food can become like poison. This ancient insight highlights the deep connection between our emotional state and our physical digestion. Eating is not just about filling the stomach, it's meant to be a harmonious process involving mind and body. Yet many of us unintentionally turn meals into a toxic experience by eating while upset. Picture it. When anger surges or stress takes hold, your body goes on high alert. Your heart pounds, blood pressure rises, muscles tense. It's like an internal volcano erupting. Your digestive system, in response, often nearly shuts down. Eating even the most nutritious food at this moment is like pouring gasoline on a fire. You're essentially inviting illness. When your mind is in turmoil, your stomach can't function normally, digestive juices aren't secreted properly, intestinal movement becomes erratic, and food stagnates, causing bloating, discomfort, and, over time, potentially contributing to conditions like gastritis or ulcers. Lao Tzu taught, paraphrased, "From stillness comes clarity, from clarity comes wisdom." When the mind is calm, wisdom prevails, and the body functions harmoniously. Therefore, before you eat, allow your inner state to settle. If you're angry or stressed, take a few deep breaths, sip some warm water, take a short walk, or simply sit quietly for a few minutes. Don't let turbulent emotions dictate your mealtime. Furthermore, stress impacts more than just your stomach. When stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system, your immune function can decrease, cardiovascular health is affected, and metabolism gets disrupted. Eating during this state means your body won't properly absorb nutrients. You're just adding burden to your liver, stomach, and intestines. A single meal eaten in intense anger could even potentially accelerate risks related to heart disease, high blood pressure, or stroke. Confucius reminded us, paraphrased, "We eat not merely to live, but to live well." So don't let a moment of anger compromise your long-term health. Before picking up your fork, ask yourself, is my mind calm? If not, wait a little longer. A meal delayed slightly but eaten in peace is infinitely better than one consumed in the ER. Part 2. 3 places where sleeping might be detrimental for older adults. Sleeping in a drafty spot. Where the wind is unsettled, the body finds no peace. Ancient wisdom understood that while moving air brings vitality, a direct draft, especially during sleep, carries risk. As night falls and the body enters its rest state, our protective energies, yang qi, recede, yin energy rises, and our natural defenses are lower. Sleeping, where a draft blows, whether from a poorly sealed window, a gap under the door, or directly under a vent, is like leaving the door wide open for illness to enter. Lao Tzu spoke of thriving by aligning with nature. At night, the body needs protection. During sleep, our pores are more open, making us vulnerable to unseen currents of cold air. A seemingly harmless draft can cause someone healthy to wake with a headache, stuffy nose, or stiff joints. This is especially true for older adults, whose bodies may already be more sensitive, with circulation and joint flexibility less robust than in youth. When cold air penetrates the body's energy pathways, meridians, during sleep, it can cause joints to stiffen, feel numb, or ache. Traditional wisdom called this wind dampness entering the bones, which over time can lead to chronic conditions like arthritis, degenerative joint disease, or sciatica. Drafts at night can also bring on sudden chills. Have you ever woken up, shivering, feeling a cold sensation run down your spine despite being covered? That's a sign cold energy has potentially entered. Many people are unaware of the risks of leaving a window cracked open or sleeping directly under a fan or air conditioner, blowing on them. The result can be waking with a sore throat, dizziness, or even developing a fever or respiratory infection. Confucius advised, paraphrased, secure dwelling comes first. Good health starts with a stable environment. A restful night's sleep depends not just on a comfortable bed, but also on where that bed is placed. Choose a sleeping spot away from drafts. Close windows properly when it's cool. Position your bed away from doors or areas with strong airflow. If sleeping near a window is unavoidable, use heavy curtains as a shield. Protecting yourself from direct cold air is vital. So, before you sleep, check. Are the windows fully closed? Is there a direct breeze hitting the bed? Is your neck warm? Don't let a small draft at night lead to persistent pain the next day. Peaceful sleep means a peaceful body, and a peaceful body leads to a more peaceful life. Sleeping on a sofa or hard chair, bench. The body is the root. If the root isn't stable, how can the tree stand tall? For millennia, sleep has been recognized as foundational to health, the time when the body rests and regenerates. Unfortunately, not every resting place offers true sanctuary. That comfy sofa or rustic wooden bench might seem like a good spot for a lazy afternoon nap, but they can be subtle traps, leading to sleep and poor posture that causes long-term harm to the spine and overall health. Confucius spoke of the body's inherent tranquility, paraphrased, "Human nature at its core is tranquil." But placing the body in an incorrect position turns that tranquility into disorder. When sleeping on a sofa or hard chair, the back often lacks proper support. The neck gets twisted, and limbs can end up awkwardly bent or compressed. The spine gets strained, blood flow is restricted, potentially leading to persistent aches, numbness in limbs, and even affecting the nervous system. Many people habitually nod off at their desks after hours of work or doze on the sofa while watching TV. But haven't you noticed? After such sleep, you often wake up with a stiff neck, aching shoulders, a foggy head, and numb limbs as if feeling has been drained away. This happens because blood hasn't circulated properly and nerves may have been compressed for an extended period. If this repeats often, neck and shoulder pain can become chronic. The spine weakens progressively, potentially leading to cervical spondylosis or even herniated discs. Lao Tzu noted, paraphrased, "Heaven and earth endure because they do not live only for themselves," implying they follow natural ways. Our bodies are similar. To be healthy, we must sleep in the correct posture in a suitable place, on a surface that offers firm yet appropriate support. Sofas are for relaxing, not extended sleep. Wooden benches might look nice but are too hard. Love your body by giving it a proper bed and adopting a healthy sleeping posture. Don't let makeshift naps on sofas or chairs become the hidden cause of declining health over the years. Remember, a healthy body supports a clear mind. Proper sleep isn't just rest, it's an investment in your future. Sleeping in an overly sealed room without air circulation. Where air flows, the body is at ease. Where air stagnates, illness arises. Since ancient times, humans understood air as the source of life, something we absorb from our very first breath. A deep breath can refresh the spirit, but a stuffy room can become an invisible trap, eroding health day by day without us realizing it. Many people habitually seal their bedrooms tightly when sleeping, especially during cold seasons or hot days, with air conditioning, thinking it conserves temperature and prevents drafts. However, they might not know that an overly sealed room lacking air circulation is a silent enemy of health. Lao Tzu taught, paraphrased, "Humans who follow the ways of heaven and earth live long. Those who oppose natural laws have short lives." Air is similar. Trapped in a small space, it loses its freshness. While sleeping in a sealed room, oxygen levels gradually decrease, while the carbon dioxide, CO2, we exhale, accumulates. Without exchange with the outside environment, the air becomes stagnant, stuffy, and lacks vitality. This can cause you to wake frequently during the night and feel groggy upon waking. Long-term, it can negatively impact the respiratory system, brain function, and cardiovascular health. Sleeping in a stuffy room is akin to placing yourself in a glass box where your own breath becomes mildly toxic. Studies show that people who regularly sleep in rooms without good air circulation are more prone to problems like headaches, memory impairment, chronic insomnia, and even an increased risk of stroke, especially in older adults. Confucius said, paraphrased, "The wise choose carefully where they dwell. The foolish don't recognize their errors." An ideal resting place doesn't need to be large, but it must have air exchange. It should ideally have a window to let in natural light and allow the breath of the outdoors to mingle with our own. So, don't lock yourself into an overly sealed room. Don't let your sleep become a silent suffocation. Crack a window slightly if possible. Use a small ventilation fan if needed. Let the air move. Allow yourself to wake up each morning, take a deep breath, and feel the freshness and vitality of life. Part 3. 4 living environments. Older adults might want to avoid living in a damp or humid environment. Water is the source of life, but it can also be a source of death to our well-being when present as persistent dampness. While essential, excess moisture can become an insidious enemy, harming health, especially for older adults. Therefore, avoiding damp living spaces isn't just advice. It's a golden rule for protecting health and promoting longevity. In a damp space, the air feels heavy and oppressive. Walls, furniture, and belongings can become musty or moldy. This creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and mold spores. Older adults, often with naturally lower immunity, are particularly vulnerable to respiratory and joint-related illnesses triggered by these conditions. Confucius taught, paraphrased, "If a dwelling lacks cleanliness, how can it nurture a pure spirit?" A damp, musty house fosters harmful microbes. Illnesses like pneumonia, bronchitis, arthritis flare-ups, and persistent colds more easily afflict those living in such environments, especially those with weaker resistance. High humidity doesn't just impact physical health. It degrades the quality of life, making the living space feel unsanitary and uninviting. A damp room isn't just physically uncomfortable. It creates a stressful atmosphere where every breath can feel labored. It compromises sleep quality, preventing full bodily restoration and leading to morning fatigue. Respiratory issues worsen without proper ventilation and remediation. Lao Tzu also spoke of balance, paraphrased, "Excess leads to harm. Deficiency leads to inadequacy." Exactly. Excessive humidity harms health and damages property. Furniture, wallpaper, books, and electronics degrade quickly, leading to costly repairs or replacements. Furthermore, living in such an environment can make breathing feel difficult and oppressive, subtly diminishing life quality. To maintain a healthy living space, prioritize keeping it dry and well ventilated, especially during wet seasons. Open windows when possible. Use dehumidifiers if necessary. Store items away from damp areas, and remember that dryness is key to protecting your health and home. A living space should be not just aesthetically pleasing, but clean, fresh, and airy, supporting days filled with energy, peace, and happiness. Living in an excessively noisy environment. In silence, one can hear their own inner voice. Amidst noise, one only hears the echoes of the world. Indeed. In our increasingly hurried world, noise isn't just distracting. It's a silent stressor, impacting both physical and mental health. For older adults, living in a constantly noisy environment can be particularly taxing on the nervous system, severely affecting sleep and psychological well-being. When living amidst constant noise, everything feels chaotic and unsettled. As Confucius implied, paraphrased, "If the mind is not at peace, how can one build a prosperous life?" Our surroundings profoundly influence our mood and perception. Persistent noise doesn't just irritate, it increases stress levels, keeping the body in a state of low-grade alert, which can contribute to heart problems, high blood pressure, or other stress-related conditions. The lack of a quiet sanctuary doesn't just disrupt sleep, it wounds the spirit. Sleep is crucial not just for physical rest, but also for mental and emotional recovery. When sleep is constantly interrupted by noise from traffic, construction, or even electronic devices, the body cannot fully recharge. This leads to chronic fatigue, lethargy, and can even trigger or worsen psychological issues like anxiety and depression. Lao Tzu advised, paraphrased, "Those who seek peace will always find happiness in tranquility." A quiet space, a room undisturbed by jarring sounds, allows us to relax, reduce stress, and cultivate a calm state for recovery. In quietude, the brain can regulate itself, soothe emotions, enhance focus, and foster clearer thinking. For older adults, noise can be particularly disruptive to the nervous system and may impair hearing or concentration. Excessively loud or unpredictable sounds can also create a feeling of insecurity or anxiety. Living in constant noise isn't just auditory torture, it's a deprivation of peace. Reducing noise and creating a quiet haven helps body and soul recover, leading to better health, less stress, and potentially increased longevity. When we live in quiet, like returning to our natural state, we have more opportunity to listen to and understand ourselves, living too far from children and loved ones. Children are the shade trees, the firm support when old age approaches. These words from the ancients reflect a profound truth and highlight a crucial factor in the lives of older adults. As we enter our later years, we need not just a peaceful roof over our heads, but also the presence of family and loved ones. Those who offer support, encouragement, shared moments, and protection against life's challenges. Choosing not to live too far from children and relatives is an important decision, not just for maintaining family bonds, but for safeguarding mental and physical health in life's final chapters. You might not realize it, but loneliness is a silent adversary faced by many seniors. Living far from relatives, especially children, can easily lead to isolation, leaving one feeling alone in the quiet shadow of absence, lacking affection and care. The feeling of having no one to rely on, no one with whom to share joys or sorrows, can significantly increase stress, anxiety, and lead to depression. One of the most common mental health issues among the elderly. Only within the family can one find true comfort. This saying, attributed to Confucius, isn't just a reminder, but a deep teaching about the importance of family throughout life. It's no coincidence that psychological studies show that older adults who live near their children and relatives feel more secure, experience less loneliness, and consequently enjoy better mental health and quality of life. Furthermore, living nearby allows parents to receive timely support when needed. Sometimes it's the small things, help with transportation, health appointments, or simply gentle conversations with children that can significantly reduce stress and help prevent illness in later years. The care and love from family are key elements in maintaining health, joy, and an optimistic spirit. Lao Tzu considered family reunion precious. Thus, it's natural that as we age, we crave closeness and sharing with those we love. Living near. Family isn't just about convenience. It's a way to protect both physical and mental health. When you're near family, you not only have potential caregivers in emergencies, but also companions to share life stories, reminisce, discuss unfinished dreams, helping to dispel loneliness and anxiety. What could be more wonderful for an older person than seeing their children thrive, sharing meals, conversing together, and feeling they are still a vital part of their lives? If possible, try to ensure you don't live too far from your loved ones. Every story shared, every moment spent together with children and grandchildren is a priceless gift that old age can receive. Remember, family is where unconditional love often resides, and living close to relatives is one of the best ways to protect your mental health and happiness in your later years. Living in a place with a negative vibe or a poor location, feng shui insights. According to traditional wisdom like feng shui, when we're young, where we live might just be a place to rest and function. But as we age, our dwelling place becomes a factor directly influencing our health and spirit. An old saying goes, paraphrased, a home is for peaceful dwelling and and peaceful dwelling depends on harmony with the environment. Feng Shui. Feng Shui isn't just superstition, it represents an understanding of the interplay between humans and nature, the seen and unseen energies. Therefore, living in a space with what's considered a bad location or negative energy flow can directly impact our health, psychology, and life, especially when we are older and potentially more sensitive. Avoiding places with unfavorable locations is an important principle, particularly for seniors. Locations like being very close to cemeteries, large, busy highways, or areas perceived as having heavy, stagnant energy, Qi, can contribute to feelings of unease, anxiety, restlessness, and more seriously, potentially increase susceptibility to illness. You've likely heard Lao Tzu's wisdom, paraphrased, only inner peace can create lasting health. Indeed. Our surroundings directly affect our mood. Living in a location considered disharmonious can allow negative energies to more easily seep into our consciousness, unsettling our spirit. Being near a cemetery, for example, is often associated with heavy, somber energy, potentially causing residents to feel oppressed, fatigued, or melancholic. Older adults with potentially lower natural resistance may be more affected by such negative energies. Furthermore, living near major roads with constant traffic noise and air pollution also has negative impacts, not just physically but mentally. The constant din and poor air quality affect well-being. That's why feng shui masters often advise against living in overly noisy, chaotic places. The ceaseless noise, car horns, traffic flow, frays nerves, disrupts sleep, and can contribute to issues like cardiovascular problems, high blood pressure, and nervous tension. Confucius suggested, paraphrased, where one lives influences one's destiny or well-being. This holds particularly true as we age. The health and spirit of older adults are easily influenced by their environment. A place with too much stagnant or negative energy can make residents feel a loss of inner peace, leading to sleep problems, nervous system issues, and respiratory complaints. Especially for seniors, tranquility, peace, and a clean, airy space are incredibly important for maintaining a healthy and happy life. Therefore, steer clear of locations perceived as having unfavorable energy, not just because of traditional beliefs, but for the sake of your tangible health and peace of mind. When choosing a place to settle, opt for somewhere that feels calm and peaceful. This is the message from ancient wisdom. Our living environment can be a key determinant of long-term happiness and health. So, as you enter your later years, ensure your home is a place that brings tranquility, freshness, and positive energy, allowing you to enjoy life to the fullest. Dear friends, we hope this conversation has been helpful. If you found value in these insights, please remember to click like, subscribe to the LifeWhispers channel, share this video with those you care about, and keep an eye out for more wonderful content from us. Thank you for joining us today. May you always find health, peace, and joy in your journey.